There are great people out there that you can learn a lot from when it comes to entrepreneurship, business influence, and I learned a ton watching an interview in the podcast with The Rock, with my mentor, Patrick Bet-David. So if you're like me and you're always learning from great entrepreneurs and business owners, people who are making a massively positive impact on the world. All right, so The Rock has a really interesting history. So he played college football at the University of Miami and did well there. He tried to make it into professional football. He played in the Canadian League for a little bit, and eventually he had a knee injury, and ultimately it just wasn't going to work out. But ultimately, what I found super interesting about this interview with The Rock is he talks a little bit about his first negotiation of his big contract and how there was a lot that he didn't know. And Stephen A. Smith, awesome sports reporter on ESPN. He's definitely at the top of his game. I don't think anyone's anywhere near where Stephen A. Smith is. He learned a lot about this too. And what it comes down to is knowing the numbers of the business that you're in. Even those guys, even though they weren't the exact founder or entrepreneur that started those businesses, they were key cogs and massive influencers and rock stars within that business. And so they each had to learn the details of it. And so Rock, when he first gets into WWE, he signs a 5-year, $150,000 a year contract. And I just found out they actually had to pay for their hotel rooms. They had to pay for their food, all their travel. Like, these things were not included. And a few years into it, his notoriety and his success in the WWE is going up significantly, and Vince McMahon calls him into his office and said, all right, we need to renegotiate your contract. Obviously you have done extremely well, better than all of us could have expected, and so we need to take a look at this. And so Rock comes in, and at the time, Stone Cold Steve Austin is one of the top guys. Vince tells him he's making about $1 million a year guaranteed, plus some performance. Depending on how well the business does, he gets other bonuses above and beyond that. And so Rock thinks about it. He's like, well, I'm worth twice that amount. I'm going to ask for $2 million a year guaranteed, plus bonus performance, etc. As the business does well, I get bonuses and performance and so forth. And so Vince says, well, hold on. I want you to take a few weeks, and I want you to meet with our CFO and get into all the details, all the financials. And so he starts to understand, well, it costs this much to rent out these massive venues and get people in butts and seats. Marketing dollars cost this amount. Paying all the people, all the staff, all the administrative people that help make these events happen cost this much. There's this much cost with, some of the TV contracts and the film guys and the technicalities, all these different things that he didn't know about. And this is why business owners fail. You don't know your business financials, you don't track them, and that's what you have to do if you want to succeed in business. And so he dives into all these financials, and after realizing, damn, it's a lot more expensive than he ever imagined, he comes back, sits down with Vince, and he's like, and now I understand how expensive this business is, how this works, and cash flow is king. That's super important. I think I'll probably be okay with $1 million a year guaranteed, but I really want these performance bonuses now that I understand the business, if I can do well. And once Vince McMahon saw that he'd already outperformed his contract and was worth significantly more, he's like, okay, Rock, now that you understand how this works and you're all in with helping me run a cash flow positive business that is growing and doing well, I actually am going to pay you $15 million a year. Which, shocking, right? He went from, okay, I'll be okay with $1 million to $15 million. He went from $150,000 a year to $15 million a year. Game-changing money, but he was worth that much to that organization, which grew, and I believe Vince McMahon eventually sold that business for several $billion. He's worth several $billion today, and just an amazing story. So the takeaway from it is know your personal financials, know your business financials, track those. If you're not understanding those, if you're not tracking and knowing exactly how you're doing, you're going to lose. And in fact, that's why I have got a free book for you called The 3 Cash Flow Secrets that help you to grow and generate 7 figures in cash flow in your business or any business. So you can check that out. It's cashflowsecrets.com, or the link is in the description. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If there are other people you want to learn from in terms of their business savvy, The Rock's certainly up there. He's now a billionaire himself with some of the brands that he's made made. He also has massive following on social media. I think he's up to 600 million followers on social, and he's been able to monetize that with, I believe, his tequila brand and so many other ventures that he's done. But an amazing case study of how to know your financials and how that equals success in any venue of the business world.